Ready. Collections account. The secret that no one is telling you about deleting collections account. Collections account. There is a way to delete collections account that no one is telling you about, or no one is actually teaching, because I've never heard anyone teaching this online. I also drop information and odd inquiries that I've never heard anyone else teaching online. It's not because the information is not there, it's because we have not probably come across it or is paying attention, so we miss it. There's a secret, there's a way to delete off most collections account that I am going to tell you in this video. Welcome back to Credit Nerdery. Collections account. There is what is known within the credit repair laws, formerly known as permissible purpose. Let me explain to you what permissible purpose is, and then I will show you how permissible purpose can be used to delete off collections account. And I want you to listen to me carefully. So within section 604 of the FCRA, the FCRA, for those of you who are not that familiar with consumer law, is the Fair Credit Reporting Act. This is the law that governs how credit bureaus are regulated, how your information is actually supposed to be handled, and what you can do to fix your credit report when there's an issue with your credit report. It does more than that, but just to give you a basic idea of what it does, those of you who know, you already know what it does. In section 604 of the FCRA, we have what is called permissible purpose. What permissible purpose does is that it dictates who can get access to use or to see your credit report, who can pull your credit report, or who can get access to it, not just to pull it. Because sometimes when permissible purpose is discussed, there is a discussion as if it only relates to who can actually pull your credit report to extend credit to you. It also covers who can get access, who can request your credit report, and when can they request it and when they can't. If they request your credit report without having what we call permissible purpose, which are the reasons why they can access it to extend credit or insurance, if you are doing a job interview, and so on and so forth. It gives you a list of things, and it specifically says, after the list, which is my favorite language in the FCRA, these are the reasons and no other. Right? So anything outside of those reasons, your credit report cannot be accessed, should not be accessed by anyone. And if the credit bureaus give access to your credit report without a permissible purpose, then their employees can go to jail. And the company that attempts to pull your credit report without a permissible purpose, their employees can also get into problems. So what the law does to ensure that your permissible purpose, and I want you to stick with me, we're dealing with collections, but I got to lay this groundwork for it to make sense to you, and so you can know how to use permissible purpose to get certain collections account off your credit report. I just dropped my last video was on medical collections. There are several different kind of collections, and I have given you other videos on collections and how to deal with them and different ways how to get rid of them. So you combine all of those videos and you can do a lot of damage where collections account is concerned. Back to the point that I'm making where permissible purpose is concerned, and I want you to follow me carefully. When a creditor or an insurer or anyone that has a permissible purpose to pull your credit report, this is what the law does. This is how the permissible purpose law works. So you have section 604 that details the reasons under which your account, your credit report can be accessed with the permissible purpose. And then you have other section that deals with what the furnisher or the end user that is requesting your report must do in order to prove that they don't violate section 604. They must provide certification that they have a legal permissible purpose to pull your report. And if they don't do that, then it becomes a problem. It becomes an illegal act. It becomes where you can enforce the law and liability is warranted. Remedies have to be provided. You might get payment for the violation. And as I said, the permissible purpose is very serious because it is built within the context of the larger framework of your right to privacy. That is what permissible purpose is built on. Now, there is two kinds of certification that a furnisher must have. Anyone that is doing transaction using credit report and dealing with the credit bureaus must have these certifications. You have what is called a general certification, which when they're basically signing up to do business with the credit bureaus, they have to say, okay, this is the kind of business that we are in, and these are the reasons that in the future we will probably need to get access to credit reports, because this is the era. So a collector, for example, once he's going to do business with the credit bureaus, he has to be cleared by the credit bureau, sign up with them, follow certain procedures, and then they approve you. And within that, it requires them to give the reasons why they want to do business, and then the credit bureau certifies them, and we call it a general certification. Are they provided the information and it is seen as being certified? And then we have what is called a specific certification. So each time they are pulling your credit, they're supposed to have a specific certification that is deeper than just the general certification, to show that I am going to pull John Doe's or Jane Doe's credit because I am extending a credit product of XYZ. So they have to certify that you and them, or you have initiated a credit transaction and you have authorized them in writing one way or another, whether it be electronically or online with the general electronic consent that most companies currently use, or you physically go in, like when you're buying a car and they present to you a document and you have to sign it that you authorize it. That is a specific certification. So some of them don't go back with the specific certification. They use the general one to pull your credit. That is a problem. They need to also have the specific certification in the moment to say that there's a business relationship that is being initiated, or an extension of credit that is requested by you, or an offer that they have made to you and you are willing to follow through with the offer in order to establish a credit relationship. Please pay attention to that. Now, as a result of that, that's how you protect yourself from someone pulling your credit without you giving any form of authorization and maintains the permissible purpose requirement. If they go and pull your credit without the certifications, then that is grounds that you can challenge them and actually seek remedy, because there is no establishment or initiation of a relationship with you and them. Hear this now, and here where the collection comes in, which is the art of our video. This is where the collection account comes in. Collectors, even though they don't actually have the establishment or the extension of credit to you, they get access to your credit report because there's a debt that exists and they're attempting to collect on the debt. So they also have permissible purposes in order to be able to do that. And that is one area that they are able to get access to your credit report without you and them having a credit relationship prior to them coming to collect the debt. They basically buy the debt and now they have right to collect on the debt if it is done the right way, because they have to show certain things that they legitimately own the debt. But that is when you get to litigation, you have that sort of discovery and due process and all of that to discover that. What no one has told you before, and when I said no one has said this, I've never heard it, not saying someone hasn't said, but I've never heard it, and I have not heard anyone teach this. Once a collector accesses your credit report, it requires them to have a permissible purpose. I just walk you through that. If they don't have a permissible purpose, they have illegally accessed your credit report, and that must be removed. They must provide certification when they are actually accessing your credit report, because the law requires that the data furnisher provide certification for the reason that they need access to your credit report. As a result, they have to provide the certification. But watch this. Watch this when it comes on to debt collectors and where permissible purpose comes to your rescue, and you can get off any collection account that doesn't fall within this category. You have rent that you owe in the past, and debt collectors put that information on your credit report. That is illegal. You have other collection accounts that debt collectors put on your credit report for different stuff. Some of you have toll bill, other charges that the debt collector put on your credit report. Watch this and listen to me carefully. Any debt collector that puts on your credit report any debt that is owed that was not generated by a credit transaction, that is illegal. They don't have a permissible purpose. Let me say that again. Any debt collector that puts a debt on your credit report that was not the result of a credit transaction prior to the debt, that is illegal. The only debt that a collector legally ought to put on your credit report is debt that is extended from a previous credit transaction. No one is teaching this. The courts have spoken on this, so I'm not making this up. I'm going to give you an example of something that happened in a court case. There was a person who had a car, and the car was stowed away, and there are several court cases with this, and the court ruled against the collectors. Let me run the story by you, and this is a real case. The car was stowed away. You know, when your car was stowed away, it goes to a pound, and the pound have what? Storage fee and all kind of other fees that you have to pay to get back your vehicle once they take it and it is impounded. What ended up happening, the person car that was taken away did not go and collect the car. So they actually sold the car at auction, because when your car is stolen, if it is there for a certain amount of time, depending on the state, there are different laws and rules. Are you owing bills each day there's a storage fee and some of other fees. They can sell your car after a certain time for the unpaid fees. What ended up happening with this person? They never go for the car, so the car was sold. When the car was sold, the price of the car that it was sold for was less than the balance that was owed to those who impound the car. So what they did, they take what they made off of the car and the difference they sent to a collector. And the collector then put it on the person's credit report. It ended up in court. And the court ruled and made it clear that the collector did not have a credit transaction that debt arise from. So therefore, it is an impermissible purpose to put the debt on the consumer's credit report. The language of the FCRA makes this plain. The language of the FCRA makes this plain. I will show you the language in another video or in my teaching to my future students. I will show you the language. But let me summarize the video here. Any collection account that is not on your credit report because of a credit transaction that took place that you initiated or that you accepted and followed through with, except medical collections and so on and so forth, which I give you the sauce with medical collections last week. It is not supposed to be on your credit report. The FTC, I'm going to give you another gem here. The FTC, I made it abundantly clear that rent and leases are not credit transactions. So as a result, they are not permissible purposes. As a result, a landlord cannot put to a collector if you owe back rent or anything like that, apart from a court judgment or something like that. Once it's a collector that comes and want to put it on your credit report, the FTC have spoken that leases are not credit transactions. As a result, ought not to be on your credit report. Many of you have landlords that pursue you for apartments and other things and put it on your credit. That is illegal. The collector doesn't have a permissible purpose. Get that off your credit. Use what I just said here. Use what I just said here and get it off. Any collections account that is on your credit report the debt must arise from a credit transaction. If it doesn't arise from a credit transaction, the collector does not have a permissible reason to access your credit report. The FTC have made this clear. The courts have made this clear. But I understand why most of us are not familiar with this thing and understand how permissible purpose can be used to get rid of collections account. Because most of us don't really know the court cases or are studying the court cases. That is the power of understanding court cases and seeing case law, because you get to see the best legal minds who understand the law ins and out, how the law must be interpreted. And this is one of the gems that I'm giving you this morning. Make sure you use this. Remember, any collections account that a third-party collector puts against your credit report, once it is not arising from a credit transaction, it ought not to be on your credit report. It's your boy Genius, Credit Nerdery, Chironic Financial. Catch you on the next video. Use this gem to clean your credit report of collections accounts. Watch my other collection videos and you will actually see a lot of different ways how you can deal with collections. I just dropped 2 ways how you can get rid of medical collections, and I have other collections video that is there. So this is how to use permissible purpose to get rid of collections. Peace.